Great to see you again. Do you remember my film about the green snake?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that we had worked on a film while we did the stop motion workshop. Yeah.
As a part of the school's podcast, we are conducting interviews with people we find inspiring. Today, Vrinda and I will be interviewing you. Should we start?
Yeah, let's begin.
What is a user experience designer?
So, a user experience designer is basically who makes who designs the applications that you might see on your phone or on your computers. So, or user experience designers deal with digital products mostly. So, on your phone, on your parents' phone, when you look at different apps that are there, applications like, have you used any application like WhatsApp probably? So a user experience designer will design those apps, how you go from one page to another page, and that's the job of a a user experience designer, to design the experience of a digital product for their users. So yeah.
Wow. When did you decide to become a user experience designer?
So I studied industrial design in my graduation. When I went to college, was I majored in product design, and now you can see that in world, everything is moving towards digital products. Everything that we do is moving towards digital products. Anything that you want, there's an app for it. If you want a food delivery, there is an application. Uh, if there is a medical issue, then there's an app for it. There are so many problem statements that can be that are addressed via application, mobile applications or web applications. So when I graduated as a product designer, uh, there was job opportunities that were in the UX or user experience design field. So I ended up taking one, and I realized that I really enjoy the design process of being a user experience designer, of designing applications, of designing user workflows for applications. So I took that opportunity, and I that is what motivated me to continue pursuing the role of a user experience designer.
Oh, who encouraged you to become an artist?
Um, so ever since I was a kid, I used to enjoy drawing a lot. More than all the hobbies that I had, art stuck with me. And I think my parents observed that I was really good at art, uh, and I used to draw a lot on my own. I used to see Amar Chitra Katha comic books, and I used to try and replicate the art style that is there in Amar Chitra Katha comic books. And my mom decided to send me to an art class when she saw that I had good skills. And then I went to art classes, and I learned how to become a better artist. And so I would say that I myself started drawing, but my parents recognized that I was good at it, and they helped me become a better artist.
Who is your idol?
My idol. So there's this person who was president of Pixar. Uh, you must have seen Disney movies, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the 3D animated movies are done by a company called Pixar. So there's this person called Ed Catmull who has made Pixar to what it is now, who makes animated movies for children. So I once read a book by him that was on creativity and management, something you might l- read and learn about when you grow up. And I really liked his journey and his way of thinking. He used his tech. He couldn't draw. He was not good at drawing, but he was really good at technology. He was really good with science and maths. So he used those to become a good artist, and that's how his journey of 3D animation came to be. If I find any resources about it, I will definitely share with you so you all can also know what 3D animation is like.
Okay, thanks. We looked at your portfolio. I noticed a fun way to take notes. How did you come up with the idea?
So when I was in my fourth year of college, a senior of mine used to make sketch notes for all the workshops that used to happen, all the talks that used to happen. Like for if this interview is there used to be interviews happening, she will be taking notes in form of sketch notes. So when we were in our fourth year, we asked a couple of us who were interested. We asked her to take a small session with us where she taught us how to start sketchnoting. And that's how my journey of sketchnoting began. And I really enjoyed the process. So I used to try and sketchnote for whatever I was reading, whatever I was doing, whatever I was listening. Like if I am listening to a podcast, I will sketchnote it. So that is how my journey to sketchnoting began.
I really like your sketch notes.
Thank you.
How did you know about stop motion?
Again, stop motion is something I was introduced to as my in my graduation at NID, that is National Institute of Design. Uh, in our foundation course, a couple of my batchmates who were interested in animation or who were interested in new ways of storytelling, they were trying out stop motion. So when I looked at their work, I also got interested and I also tried to understand the basics of stop motion that we all tried out this in this summer vacation workshop. And that's how I got to know about stop motion. And ever since I have a lot of fascination for the medium of storytelling. And yeah, that's my.
Oh, I really love stop motion. How did you make the origami shoes?
Yeah, so origami shoes were made when I was in my third year of graduation. And we had a course called If the Shoe Fits. So, If the Shoe Fits was the course's name, and they wanted us to learn how to create shoes or sandals or any form of footwear. So I was teamed up with one of my batchmates, and we were trying to start somewhere. So we took some references from nature, like pine cones. So have you seen pine cones? They are if you haven't, you can check it out later. So pine cones have this very geometric shape and repetitive pattern. So we thought that it was an interesting fruit or dried fruit, I think so, to look into uh, for uh, for inspiration. Then, so there is something called as geometric. There's a lot of geometry in nature that is there hidden in plain sight. All the many flowers will always have 5 petals. They will or have 7 petals. Uh, n- l- there are only a few plants that will have petals that are in even numbers. Or there is a sunflower. The seeds of sunflower are growing in golden circle or golden ratio. So all these terms that I am using are something to do with geometry. And that's how we were trying to come up with ideas of using pine needles. So with pine cone, we tried to make with pine cones, we tried to make something geometric out of the for making our shoe. Then that did not work out. So we moved on towards what if we could use origami, because origami also has repeating patterns. Especially the one that I have used in the shoe, you can see that it's repeating pattern.
Yeah.
And then when we were trying, so we got a origami book for ourselves, which had those patterns, and we tried out every pattern in that origami book. And then we found that this particular pattern that we have used in the origami shoe, it could stretch and come back together on itself. It was very stretchy. It was like a cloth when the origami sheet was folded. So then we looked into it, and what the pattern was is called auxetic material. So auxetic materials are basically you can stretch them and they can come back together. So then we decided we try to use those patterns that we made and convert them into the shape of a shoe using patterns. That's that they We also learned how to create a shoe during that particular uh, course. So using those that knowledge, we converted this origami pattern into a shoe, and we tried wearing it, and it was fitting our form of the leg very nicely, very snugly, because it was made of that stretching material. So that is how we made the origami shoe. And since it was made out of paper, it was not very durable. It was just a prototype. But yeah, you can wear it if yeah.
Oh, like are those material like slime?
No, not exact, not like slime. It would um it's more like a pleated fabric. You pleated fabric, you can just stretch it and then it comes back together, but it's not like slime.
Oh, you made the cover of our activity book. Can you share more about the process?
Yeah. So when I started when the ma'am gave me the brief to make a illustration for the activity book that you all were working on. I During that time, I myself was going through a couple of dioramas. That is basically uh, what stacking of paper and creating a design are called. Just a second.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry for that. So when I was looking into dioramas, I saw that they are a good form of uh, illustration. They are a medium of illustration. And Stuti ma'am had shared some of her own inspirations for how the illustration should look like. So then I started exploring this particular kid walking through jungle scene, and I wanted to add a lot of hidden animals in the scene. Like there's a frog, there's a crocodile, there's a hippo, there's a bird. And I really like the theme of a kid exploring the jungle while all the animals are hidden in the plain sight. So then I thought that this form of illustration is very, very interesting to try this out, where the animals can be hidden inside every layer. So that's how I came up with the idea, and I explored it further. I shared my idea with Stuti, and she liked it. And then we went ahead and we added those elements. So in your activity book, you have a lot of an activity related to clouds. So then those kinds of elements were also added to the illustration. And it was basically a kid exploring on their own. And I think that was also something you all did in your activity book. So yes.
So I have a question. The child you have made in our activity book, it was you.
No, it was any kid that like it can be anyone. Yeah.
And the animals were hidden perfectly. Like I didn't find the crocodile anywhere, and even the birds.
Yes.
What is the idea behind the sofa you designed?
By sofa, you mean the wooden structure that
Yeah.
yeah. So this wooden seating structure or sofa that we are talking about, a French designer had visited our college at NID, and she took a 4-day workshop. So this sofa was made as a group project between me and a couple of my batchmates, also my friends. And the idea was to make those sofas for libraries. And the inspiration behind it was branching out. So using the idea, so we made a lot of designs, or we made a lot of sketches of how branches grow on trees. And then again we took the reference of origami and tried to fuse it with the branches. And then we put it together. We came up with a lot of designs. Since it was a group activity, me and my friends, we sat together, we came up with sketches, we saw which form looked the best. And then we selected the one that we made, so that there are two seating areas, there's a reclining area, and it is a cozy space for someone to sit in a library and read. So that it was a 4-day workshop. We got 2 days to create the whole structure in our carpentry workshop at NID. And yeah, along with my batchmates and help of the artisans who are there, who help us in the workshop, we created that structure.
Why did you choose the that structure to be of wood? Why not with like something soft?
So one of the criterias was decided by the French designer who had visited us. So she had selected the materials of pine wood columns that are used, and planks. So it was all she had already decided that for us. So that's why we used the wood.
Oh, and why is the lamp a waffle?
So if you see the lamp, and you can if you see one of the photos which has a golden light behind the lamp, it looked like a waffle. I don't know if you guys have ever had a waffle to eat
Yeah.
before, but it was looking like a waffle, so that's why I decided to name it waffle lamps. But they weren't it the name did not come from I mean, I did not decide to make a lamp out of on waffles. when I made the lamp after my product was designed, I was thinking of what I could name it. And then during one of the photo shoots, I realized that it looked like a waffle. So I named it Waffle Lamp.
Which material did you use?
In Waffle Lamp, I used plastic, and you get these plastic sheets that can be used to vacuum form. And a vacuum form is basically a machine. You place a mold, like any mold on it, and you place a plastic sheet on it. And then there's a force of air that comes from underneath. And the plastic sheet will be sucked onto the mold. And that's how these patterns were created. So from a plastic sheet that's like a paper, you place the mold, and then this the vacuum air sucks the air out of the mold, and then that's how the lamps were made. It's called vacuum forming.
Oh, your paintings look like the ones in the storybooks. Do you make storybooks also?
So until now, I haven't made any storybooks, but I am really interested in working along with authors to illustrate their books. And I have had the opportunity with Stuti ma'am to explore one of the books that she is working on. So I hopefully that would be my first storybook that I illustrate. And hopefully you guys get to read it and see the illustrations also.
We would love to. How do you manage all these three things like being a user experience designer, an illustrator, and a sketchnote artist?
So, a user experience designer is my job. It's my day job. It's something that I do on very regular basis, and I'm really lucky that as an adult, I get to continue my hobbies, and I get to you have creativity required in my job as well. So, it is something that uh, I am able to continue doing. Even as my job as user experience designer, I require to make sketches. I need to use the sketch notes when I'm talking to my clients or my colleagues at work. So sketchnote has become more of a note making method for me. And being an artist, it generate I whenever I'm traveling somewhere, I carry a sketchbook with me, and I keep I do live sketching wherever I go. And I don't regularly sit and sketch. There is no exact time in the day when I sit and make drawings, but I make sure that whenever I am traveling somewhere, I sketch. Whenever I am free on my weekends, I sketch. And that's how I am able to continue with all my hobbies while I am working. And it's really important that you don't let go of your hobbies even after you start working. So that's why, I mean, that's why I make it a point to continue it, and that's how I'm able to manage it.
How did you make your own stop motion?
No, I haven't made my own stop motions, but I have made a few small animations on my iPad, like fish swimming or wind blowing through air. So I have made few stop animations for myself.
Wow, you are like a super lady. So thank you for your time. It was a lot of fun talking to you and learning about your work. I think I would like to be a sketchnote artist. And I think I would like to be a storybook artist. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Vrinda and Pranya.